This month, I'll let the energy help me to prioritize my projects and goals so that I don't have to work so damn hard to figure it all out. Welcome to Moonlit Magic. We're going to unlock each of the major moon phases as we move through this. So you're going to want to watch this all at once to make sense of the upcoming month, and then meet me back here every week to freshen up the energy and remind ourselves what our intentions for this month are all about. This breaks down into 4 installments. Pull out your own cards and play along with us. We'll take a moment. If you have an intention for the month, let's pause if we need to and set it now. Welcome to the new moon in our self-care theme of the week, relax. So that's what we're here to do. Doesn't that sound lovely? I feel like this last month was so much critical thought and so much work, deep work, things that we had to sit with to unlock that we may not have been feeling on the surface. So if you did not work through that yet, make sure you go back and check out the videos that you missed. The self-care themes that seem most resonant to you right now are the ones that you need. So don't worry about the date. Go and listen and pay attention to the energy that you need right now, and then you'll start to feel those things flow together, and you will work through all this stuff one thing after the next. And there's balance all throughout the year because each moon cycle is different. Okay, so now we are in this brand new moon cycle. This is the start of the moon phase, and that's why we start here every month. This is a quiet time where we plant our intentions. So we are starting with the overall theme, golden treasures and faith. I'm not sure what that means to you yet. I'm not sure what it means to me yet, but it sounds to me like we're going to be kind of sitting still and kind of basking in the glory, shall I say, of what we have been sowing. It's kind of like we've been working really, really hard and putting things into the world. What have we been sowing into life so far? And that's what we're going to start to, I guess, reap the benefits of and start to feel, kind of like where we feel that sunshine on our face. You know what it's like. Faith is growing the seed that moves towards the light despite being in the midst of darkness. So the new moon, the dark moon, that's a perfect time to bask in the inner glory, the inner satisfaction. This isn't coming from outside, but to get a sense of what that should feel like, it's one of those like relaxing moments in nature where you're just sitting present, listening to the sound of loved ones laughing or petting your dog, something along those lines. It's one of those pure moments. And that's the type of feeling that we're looking to access. That's the inner satisfaction. And it doesn't come in those giant moments where we think it would come from. It comes in the quiet moments. So pay attention to them now so you know what they feel like to build those moments in the future. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. So consider that. We're in the dark moon phase, new moon phase. You're not going to be receiving a lot of external validation, or at least it's not going to be clear yet. But if you want to experience that on the outside, for real, and not a shallow sort of way that ends up feeling empty in the end, it's kind of like pairing our goals together with the quiet moments, with those great achievements, and seeing what inner satisfaction actually feels like to you as a person. It's in the quiet, the stillness, those sweet, relaxing moments, okay? Now we're gonna move on to our intention and focus for this phase. Adventure, patience. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. So it says we're going south. I don't know where we're going, but we are going on an adventure. It's so interesting to me. Now let's move on to satisfying choices. Ice, purity. This is a rest. This is a restful energy. It's a relaxation. Your sacred calling upon this planet is simply to love and be loved. That's exactly what we were just talking about a moment ago. To sit in these moments of quiet and to know the miracle that is just to literally be breathing, to exist, to feel that breath in your lungs in a different way. These are forms of meditation. These are things that just focusing on the presence and attention to appreciation while you're moving through your life is the greatest gift you can ever give yourself. The earth has this heartbeat. There's something about just sitting in those, again, sweet, quiet moments. It's with your hands in the dirt of your garden, okay? And knowing what will come from that quiet. That's what this phase is all about. And right now, even if it feels like there's something tense going on in our lives, we're not meant to tackle it. We're meant to relax with it and see what kind of clarity is revealed within that inner satisfaction moment and what directions that will take us. Now we're on to lessons of self-awareness. Richness. Abundance. Isn't that incredible? When your heart's intention is to serve humanity, doors of abundance naturally open. Lessons of self-awareness, the inner richness. See, I ramble on a lot, but isn't it so fun when everything matches up? Because ridiculous and beautiful, as to call it. The only reason that I do this, that I record this, that I put this up on YouTube is because the way I feel matches the energy before I can speak it, there's no other way to show you than to show you and to let you see how those things happen as well. That's the magic for me. That's what I am here for. That's what feels powerful to me. So when you come and work with me one-on-one, that's what I'm trying to show you in you. You come and you pick these decks, whatever you choose, and you see the messages come together for you the same way mine do for me. As I pick these, I mirror them to the energy that I'm feeling. It takes me a while to do that. It should take you a moment to decide what resonates with you as well, because that's the only way these messages to come together so powerfully, is because you take what feels right to you and you make that choice, and then you go out into the world and you see how powerful you are once you feel the synchronicity of something so maybe silly to you. It was silly to me as well, but once I saw the clarity of how these come together, I believe in my power in other ways as well, and that's just something that helped me unlock it, and that is what I would love to help you do as well. So that's what I really appreciate about you being here. That is what drives me. That is my heart. And I thank you for being here every week, or for being here for your first time. I appreciate you for sharing this. I appreciate you for participating. I just want to build something together. I want to take the energy that I feel, and I want to take the energy that you feel, and I want to help us show each other that it is... We're swimming in the same ocean. You know, we are paddling in the same direction. We're all looking for similar things, similar feelings. We all want to experience understanding and love, and it feels very rare a lot of times until we actually experience it. So there are ways that we have to channel our own power to prove to ourselves again and again that we have purpose, that everything is not completely random. And you can go ahead and believe it's completely random if you want, but it doesn't feel that way to me. So I appreciate you. Moving on now to advice and resources. Completion and strength. You are being guided by the cosmos. Stay strong. A positive outcome is assured. That's, I guess, the point, right? The point of the synchronicity, of paying attention to that. It's hope. It brightens your spirit. We can literally drown ourselves in despair. So we have to find ways to lift ourselves up in a world that won't do it unless you seek it out. You have to find those ways to appreciate yourself, to appreciate your own life, your own action steps. You have to do life your way, or at least you have to try it your way. Not throwing that in the face of other people. That's not what strength is. Strength is not forcing anything. Strength is believing in yourself so purely that you can be gentle when you move around, when you speak, when you interact. That's such a goal for me, because I still feel it in my nervous system, reactive to things I haven't experienced yet or don't quite understand at this point in my life. So don't be afraid, okay, to shift directions. Don't be afraid to sit still, okay? And trust in the synchronicity that you feel and experience. That is the realest thing. The realest thing you can imagine, because everything around us is always changing. Nothing is permanent, nothing is assured. And so that hope in your spirit is all you may have to keep you going when life's roller coasters hit those lows. Action steps. Beginnings. East. Now look at these shifting directions, and I find this so amazing because if North comes up, I'm just gonna shush about it. Adventure, completion, beginnings. We're shifting directions for sure. I don't know where you started. I don't know where you're going. We are shifting directions. Gratitude. Universal love shines through the miracles of life all around you. Moving through each of these confusing directions. They could be confusing. You might be very clear about this already. This could be a sign that life is going to take you in some new directions, places you're not quite comfortable. And that can be really scary. Not being in control is scary, but that's why we're talking about appreciating this present moment, about having that inner satisfaction with your choices and that hope in your spirit, because we don't know when the ground is going to be pulled out from underneath our feet. Unfortunately, that's just the way that things are. So the more at peace we can be with ourselves, the more powerful, peaceful, strong, abundant, rich we will feel, clear and confident in this direction. Now, this is our very final message for the new moon. Relax is the self-care theme of this phase, and what's going to tie this entire message together? Light of the sun. Signs. So illuminating signs and synchronicities. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. I already talked way too much about synchronicities, but I think that really shows exactly what we're talking about, revealing, gently nudging. The light is pointing you in the right direction. Do you want to test your intuitive capabilities and see what messages you can bring together for yourself? I have a giant collection of Oracle and Tarot decks because I like them, and that saves you from having to go out and buy them for yourself. You can test them out with me in whatever capacity that you like to see if you enjoy them. Here's going to be our final message for the new moon. This is part of what ties it all together. Release. Today, I release limiting beliefs, harmful thoughts, and toxic patterns. Anything out of alignment. I am ready for transformation and welcome this shift. I am creating space for a new chapter filled with love, abundance, and amazing opportunities. We are here to relax into that, to feel the inner satisfaction when we are patient, sitting just in those sweet, soft moments, appreciating the present right now, okay? Dancing, okay? Or when you're listening to one of your favorite songs, if you're struggling to access that feeling, that is where you should go. Go in, find your favorite song, sit with it, and that will bring you to the place that you need to be, okay? To at least move this energy around. Let it shift within you. Do not be afraid to shift directions. Be confident. Trust in the richness of your soul and that it will lead you the right way. You are already being led. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week for the first quarter moon. Welcome to the first quarter moon. The self-care theme of the week is keep your heart open. So now we are going to start to unlock that self-care theme. Last week was relax. So we're coming into this from a place of softness, openness, okay? We're not trying to crack anything open. We're not forcing anything open. We're already feeling a little bit maybe more open than usual. So lean into that. The theme of the week is evolution. So keep your heart open and then deepening that. That's a deep change for you, for me. It's definitely a deep change for me. So if it is for you as well, then we are both on the same track. I feel like it's been very, very easy to shut things out in these last few years of isolation. So it's just more readily an option to shut our doors and close our blinds and separate ourselves from those sorts of things. So what we're doing now is opening up in a way that maybe we have not before. Last week we released something. So relaxing, there's a faith in a certain type of inner satisfaction that we were maybe we were unlocking from within, that was actually kind of coming through and replacing some old energy, pushing it out, releasing it, because you can't have those two things coexisting. So we're just shifting things, we're changing, and maybe it's uncomfortable, but don't be afraid. So now we're going to focus on our intention. Lady says, enjoy and reap rewards. Enjoy growth and reap rewards. So that's exactly what we were just talking about. We're evolving, we're changing. It might be uncomfortable, but because we are doing this, our willingness to do this, our willingness to open up or to stay open from this place that we're at right now, to continue to step into those things that feel vulnerable to us, is going to bring us great reward that we haven't been able to experience because we've been closed off. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love, softening, realizing that this is an adventure that we are going on. We are going to change and shift directions 1,000 times. There are no failures, only these learning experiences that we're learning to appreciate the present moment and the lessons within those moments. So now on to satisfying choices for this moon phase. Hold the space open in your heart, in your life, for the things that feel most satisfying. Trust yourself. You have to have space for the rewards. And the reward, most oftentimes, is the inner satisfaction we were talking about last week. What makes you feel that way? That's what we should be giving that space in our hearts, in our lives, in our minds. And then leaning into that, see what develops, the friendships, relationships, and opportunities that come from that. Your soul is evolving to higher states of consciousness, and you are ready for it. We are ready for it. If we weren't ready for it, it wouldn't be happening. It doesn't mean it's not uncomfortable. We can really, really stall ourselves out by grasping on to the old thing, the past, or being too afraid of the future to step into it. All we have to do is sit with the changes. Let the changes sweep over us. Let this new energy push the old energy out. Don't hold on so tight, because you're gonna fucking explode. And I don't really know what else to say, but that's what happens. Too much pressure makes us explode. That's just the way that it is, on an emotional level, on a mental level as well. That's what's going to happen. This stress, it creates sickness. Our cells can only handle so much. So that's why we're trying to soften. There's a reason that we make this a priority. There's a reason that this is not a silly option. Taking this time and space for yourself, whatever that may be, is important, and it brings this richness and abundance to your life. It's the reward for holding the space open when it's more comfortable, easier to close down. Ignite your passions. You are being guided by the cosmos. Stay strong. A positive outcome is assured. Keep moving into what lights your heart up. Okay, what is that? I have no idea. It could be literally anything for you. We are different people. I cannot say what makes you feel fully satisfied, but you need to find that sense of clarity for yourself. What have you been doing so far to let yourself receive that clarity? How much space do you give yourself in your own quiet time, or your own time of, basking in the inner satisfaction we talked about last week, that really, really important self-care relaxation is different. It's appreciating the experience. If you're bottling things up and drudging through it, it doesn't have the same effect. So what does that feel like for you? Trusting in your own choices is such an important part of this experience. Appreciating your experience is really going to come down to how much of it you were able to how many mistakes you're able to make for yourself. Really, you want to make the mistakes. You do. You'd rather make them than hide. You would. The experience is the adventure. Okay? The growth comes from falling and falling and falling and falling until we learn to take our lessons standing up. That's the way that it is. And it's a mess for a while, and it's probably a mess forever. But to create space for what feels right to you, and it's a vastly different feeling than existing in a space that is expected of you. Advice and resources. Be open to healing information. Creation. Being creative is a wonderful way of witnessing the unfolding of your limitless creative soul. So we're talking about sitting in the creative spaces. Those are spaces that ignite your passions. What is something, hobby, anything that makes you, just sets your heart on fire? What makes you excited? Lean into it for a little bit. Lean into that. Give yourself the space. Hold the space open and see what kind of clarity comes from that. Okay? If you still don't know what you're doing, let me help you. This is just such an amazing way to get an example of your own power, your own intuitive power, the power that's already within you. Trusting your own spirit, trusting your gut, trusting what is already within you and how important and purposeful you are. Sometimes we just need to see it once or twice so clearly to believe it. And I would be happy to help you because this was such a powerful experience to me. That's why I keep doing this, because it's that powerful. So now we are on to action steps. See your seeds grow. The seeds we planted at the new moon. Every new moon we are planting seeds. Your vibration is being raised to higher levels. You are connected to cosmic intelligence. Once you notice things, you can't not notice them anymore. Okay, there are certain things that we're oblivious to. And when it catches our awareness, I think this is a huge fear for us. We don't want to see a lot of things the way they are because that will change how we feel about them, how we interact with them. And we don't want to leave those things behind. We're not ready. We're not ready. And so we hold ourselves uncomfortably in a space that is not meant for us anymore, that is too small. And we know it and we feel it and we experience it every day. We feel the pressure of being crammed in smaller and smaller and smaller because we don't fit in that box anymore. Communication is extremely important with anybody that matters to you as you shift and grow, but there are some people that will choose to misunderstand you. There are some people that will choose to let you go. Your action steps are leaning into what feels fresh, what feels like it matches you at this level of existence that you are at right now. You are not the same person you were yesterday, last month, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. You grow all the time. And if you are not growing, if your beliefs aren't at least being challenged by you, if you don't look at yourself every day and not reevaluate what you think, but at least give your own brain the room to expand on those beliefs or deepen them, solidify them, test yourself, because there are so many unanswered questions and so many mysteries, okay? All we can trust in is ourselves, truly. That's to hold hope, to carry on. We don't know what is here and gone tomorrow. And that is a fact of being a human being on planet Earth in this time and space. That is what it is. We have to understand that, and we have to understand that we're not always going to understand what we're doing next, but we have to trust that we can make the choices that are right for ourselves, that we can experience that we can do that. We are that powerful that every choice we make creates a life. Our life. Everything that moves away from us is not us. We have to center in what is here in the present moment right now, and that is where the power is. So be here in this soft space. This is so gentle. Okay, this is so gentle that you cannot experience it. You can't hear it in the noise. You have to give yourself a little bit of quiet space, or at least what feels quiet headspace to you, to let the clarity come in. Now, here is what ties it all together, our very final message. You know how much I appreciate you. I try to tell you all the time. If you don't know, go back to the new moon, because I think I gushed all about it for a really long time. So here you go. What ties it all together? Trust in higher forces, okay? Higher forces channeled through you, okay? As you develop spiritually, what is the message is meant for you, okay, that you believe, what is the grandness, the almighty of your life, whatever that it feels like, looks like, sounds like to you, you are trusting that to be channeled into you clearly. And that is what this is. Channeling your trust into the synchronicities and the clarity that maybe we're not getting sitting in the quiet. Maybe in the meditation, the messages don't come in so clear. But there are ways to channel those, okay? You are the channel. You have to find your way of receiving. Your way is important. Don't worry about mine. Your sacred calling upon this planet is simply to love and be loved. And that is the one thing that we have to trust first, foremost, most of all. So that we can believe that we are worthy of being that conduit, that channel. You are as much a conduit and a channel for this love and for this spirit as I am. You are here doing exactly what I'm doing, just in a completely different way. Channeling love, bringing, what did I just do? Channeling love, bringing new energy and a different, irreplaceable spirit that brings and breathes new life into every environment you enter. So remember your power to influence that environment. Here's our final message. This is a part of what ties it all together. Keep your heart open, trust in higher forces. Everything is being illuminated to you, but it comes from within, and it has, the part of that inner growth has to do with trusting the channel from within. In the mornings, I will take my time to tune into myself, to set high vibrational rituals that will help me lead a good day. I pay attention to the morning habits that don't serve me and change them for ones that do. That's where we're talking about the appreciation of the present moment, how to softly not force things, but just to be, let the shifts happen, allow ourselves to move with them, and let ourselves out of those confining expectations that we've been holding ourselves to a lot longer than are necessary. Trust you, trust your choices, trust that your choices, when they feel right to you, are the choices that are being channeled to you every time that you're asking for that help and for that advice from wherever you call out to, whenever you speak to spirit or pray. You have to trust that you can receive that. And that's all you need. Trust you. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week for the full moon and the self-care theme, take a reality check. Welcome to the full moon. Our self-care theme of the week is take a reality check, and we're going to work on unlocking this theme a little bit more for us, and just understanding why this is the experience that we're having. What are we taking a reality check from? Nature's wisdom. So interesting to me that we have been talking about this all month long. It has been about being present and sort of basking in that spirit of inner satisfaction that we feel modeled in nature when we sit in one of our favorite outdoor places, or with the bird songs, or the sounds of the wind, or just, you know, the sweet smell of the flowers in the air. Those are the sorts of things that we're talking about. They don't seem that important, but they unlock a lot of clarity. So let's see what kind of reality check nature is serving us this full moon. The full moon is an intense time, okay? And more than intense, I think that once you really start to feel into this, what you experience is illumination. You experience these opposing energies of the sun and the moon. So we're in Cancer season. That means it's Capricorn moon. Those are polar energies. So the sun is in one side of the sky, the moon is in the opposite, and so you get to see or feel those energies illuminate each other and expose all those secret hidden kind of cracks that we don't see when things aren't this intense and clear. That is how I experience the full moon energy, and that is how I share and teach about it, because that is what I experience. If you want to talk a little bit more about that, or listen, I guess I should say, we have some of our full moon live streams where we get into talking about the polarities and the energy and how we experience it. So on to this self-care theme. This is nature's wisdom. Take a reality check from that somehow, and this is our intention and focus for this moon phase. Abundance. We are mirroring back to the new moon at this point, because this was a major theme. Inner richness. Okay, you are not alone. You are guided by masters and teachers of the highest realms. Something that we're talking a lot about is trusting that our choices, when they feel right to us, are the wisest choices for us. Those are the purposeful choices that we are meant to make. If we are experiencing resistance from other forces, people naysaying that, telling us we're doing the wrong thing, anything that tells you not to trust yourself is always going to be a mistake. You might trust yourself, go out and make a big mess, but a mess that you can be proud of for the experience, for the growth that it gives you. If you are courageous enough to step out of any mess of your own making and willing to see clearly what not even your mistakes, but how you were maybe naive or foolish in those times that led you down a path, you'll notice you thought you were trusting your own decisions, but maybe you weren't. You were being guided by beliefs or other voices that weren't quite right or true to you. You were maybe rebelling against certain things. It's just, it feels different. And at each stage of your life, you notice how things feel different. And you notice how powerful you are if you want to. Okay, that's a big part about the guidance, the abundance. It's trusting in your own inner satisfaction that every choice you make that feels right to you is the right choice for you. And that's going to help you appreciate your present experience no matter what's going on. No matter how hard it is, you will see the growth, or you will see perseverance, you will see your connections, you will see some way to connect to that phase of life that brought you expansion, even in just your perspective. It's not always fun, but there is a perspective about life and appreciating it while we're here Most of us share these experiences and these feelings, and when we start to connect and open up about these things, then we realize that we're not so alone, and that's why we do it. Enough of that. Satisfying choices. Medicine woman. Oh man. Observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. I don't even feel like I need to say anything else because I just rambled on so much. I don't mind that. Maybe you do. But I do think it's kind of fun when I get on little rants. I know they can be obnoxious and rarely let anyone get a word in edgewise, but when the synchronicities match up, I always think that's so fun, that we're, again, expanding our consciousness. Maybe we're just expanding the perspective that we have. Maybe that's all we'll ever see as the gift of that particular time in our life, but that is a healing experience. Accepting our existence, our reality is a big part of not compartmentalizing and dissociating from reality altogether. Sometimes we make choices in our life that are really, really hard to come back from. And I'm not saying that I know what to do or how to reconcile those things, but if you don't reconcile those things that are eating you alive inside, they will eat you alive inside. And the further and further and further you go into that, it really will drive you crazy, because you cannot match up your integrity in your spirit with your choices in your mind. It's a terrible, miserable cycle. And I really do hope that you don't think there's anything in your life that you can't come back from. That you value yourself, and that you know that others value you enough that there are people who understand. Even if there's no accessible help, even if there seems like no hope, there are people who identify with your experience, and they want you to feel better about your life. They want to love you. So don't forget that. I don't know where this is coming from, but lessons of self-awareness. Offerings. Connect to the blue flame, which is the light of pure love within you. This is falling on top of richness, and ignite your passions. Okay? The light of pure love within you is that trust for yourself, that trust that when you take time, frivolous time, okay, for your hobbies, for your creative interests, for your social relationships, for things that seem non-productive, that those are the gifts. Those are the things we work our whole lives to enjoy. What if you never get to enjoy it? Enjoy it now. Don't save up your entire life for something that you don't know you're ever going to experience. The world changes. You don't know how the world is going to change for you. And that's not meant to sound ominous in any way. It's just, I want you to understand that the present is the gift. Do you get it? Like, the present moment is the gift. And that's the wonder of it all. That's what we have to focus on appreciating, or else we don't get the bigger things, you know? And you notice often those with the least are the most appreciative. They're the most generous. And those are the things we have to think about. We get clouded by richness that is not true richness. We get crowded by belongings and grasping onto things that are valuable maybe in the eyes of others, but don't feel satisfying to us. That is kind of just what we're playing with it. This is soft. This is just something that you're just trying different things to see how you feel about them, so you can decide what life you want to create and who you want to be, what it feels like for you. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't have that. We are on to advice and resources. Ceremony, well, that's what we're doing right here. No worries. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. completing. Okay, there's a completion, a direction that you're shifting that is ending one thing and then starting anew, something else. I don't know what that is for you, but it's healing though. It's something that you're gonna place priority in, and even a creative hobby pursuit. Let that become sacred to you, because it is. This is sacred to me. I want you to understand that just because it's not productive doesn't mean, I mean, not that I'm trying to say you don't understand, but the world is always saying productivity. It's always wanting us to push and grind and make something of ourselves and prove ourselves to people. You don't have to fucking do that. Okay? You don't. You just fucking you don't. Do things your way for your own satisfaction. The end. Create it and display it, express it how you want to. Okay? Because there are people who want to share in that with you. They want to create with you. Let them. Action steps. Gather. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. Our seeds. What are we planting? And I think that's what we have to remember in the quiet moments. We're planting. We're sitting with our beliefs about ourselves, about our lives, about what we're capable of. And we've made it a point to take this sacred time to sit patiently with ceremony and rituals that are meaningful to us so that we can open ourselves to the love that is within us. It's inside. It's unlocking. It's also all around. Okay? It's every breath you take. It's every heartbeat. It's communing with the earth. There are so many ways to experience it, but you have to find what feels right to you, because if you can't sit with it and relax into it, it really doesn't feel like ceremony, like ritual. That's what it should feel sacred to you. Period. Forget what I say, what anybody else says. Do what feels sacred to you. All right, now what ties it all together? You know that I appreciate you. If you don't know that I appreciate you, I appreciate you. And it means a lot to me that you're here, that you're listening, that you're present, because all of this is, again, sacred to me. There are so many things that I cannot explain when I sit in my quiet time and I do these sort of things for myself. Sometimes I want you to see and hear and experience right in front of your own eyes that when I speak, these things match up. You watch it from start to finish. You watch my intuitive choices come together. And if you don't believe in the power of mine, could you believe in the power of yours? Watch yourself put messages together for you. Do it on your own or come do it with me. It doesn't really matter. I just want you to understand that your choices, trusting your choices, is so powerful. I don't want you to doubt yourself, because I really do think that that's what's stopping most of us from really feeling that freedom and that satisfaction in our cores, where we can actually go out into the world and treat each other with respect and kindness, because we are secure and confident in what we are doing and the choices that we have, the direction that we are going. We know that no one can take anything from us that we cannot replace. Okay, we know what our real resources are. Drought. Okay, what ties it all together? Celebrate your achievements. You truly are a gift to the universe. So at this point, reality check, nature's wisdom. What is happening that is illuminating where We are not being nourished. That's what is happening. That is how we tap in. We only tap in from the illumination. What is causing pain? Okay, if we don't understand how to continually access the inner satisfaction, we have to look at the pain points or the discomfort. It doesn't have to be so extreme. It can be very, very subtle, nagging discomfort, voice in the back of your head, something that just feels off. And that's what the intuition is illuminating to you. For you, it may be very different than me. I have a feeling it's going to be something soft. It's going to be a place that you just do not feel satisfied. But it's not going to be obvious, because we're being taught to really softly access ourselves here, to be with our emotions, to trust those, attune to our bodies, and notice when something doesn't feel quite right compared to when it does. And step in the direction of the choices that feel right to you. Because trusting yourself is the only thing that is going to get you out of that place of feeling scared or hysterical to make a change. Or when someone comes at you with a change, you're not gonna freak out because you trust yourself. You may have those moments, of course, where you panic, things go awry, but ultimately you know you have everything within you that you need. Playful. I go about life playfully and take things lightly. I can turn any hard day or heavy burden into a fun adventure. Adventure is the first thing we started with in our relaxation self-care phase for the new moon. Why spend time upset when there is so much fun to be had? When we feel this, okay, we do the things we need to do to illuminate, again, what doesn't feel like it's nourishing us and what does. A lot of that comes in tapping into the playful side of ourselves, that childlike side that we experience. When things feel harsh, we should play with it. How can we soften a rigid experience? Okay, playing with it, being creative with it, reimagining it, re-engineering the entire experience. When things don't go right, okay, you know how to redirect, you know what to do. So don't think that just because something that's it's not an experience you're comfortable with, that I'm comfortable with, that we're comfortable with experiencing or addressing or realizing that there's an issue. Now is the time to trust that we are equipped and we know what we're doing here as well. Softly we notice, softly we shift, and that is where this richness and this passion comes from, because we give ourselves that room to play, to shift energy and to release in a new way, maybe that we hadn't experienced before. I really appreciate you being here. Join me next week for the last quarter moon and our self-care theme, Be Proud of Yourself, the final message of this moon cycle in the month. Welcome back to our last quarter moon, and our self-care theme is Be Proud of Yourself. This is the last message of this moon cycle, and then next month there will be a new video beginning again at the new moon. So each week flows into the next, and the more consistent that you are with each of the energies, the more prepared you'll feel for what's coming next. So don't be afraid to go back if you need to, and to not catch up on, but to relate to the energy that you need right now. The self-care theme that you need right now is the one that you need right now, okay? So starting out with the last quarter moon in Taurus, being proud of ourselves all month long. Really, we've been talking about playing with our choices and trusting them, okay? Trusting that with the choices that we make for ourselves are the choices that are right for us, even if it's a mistake. Appreciating our experience and our growth. So we realize that we have power and that we're creating a life. Okay, sometimes we need to make mistakes to realize how powerful our mistakes can be. So we're gonna be moving into a place where maybe we finally are starting to trust all the work that we've done is paying off, and it is building into something. Trust. There you go. Well, that's it. I'm done. See you next week. Being playful with ourselves starts to break down some of those barriers to that self-trust. Okay, being playful to see how things align for us, synchronicities, believing in synchronicities, or that time for creative hobbies and social relationships are important, will start to shape your life, because those are the things that we want to be able to enjoy, you know, long term. Why not enjoy them now? Why not make some space for those things now? So your own satisfaction is a priority. As you build a life, you build that into it. Now we are going to talk about our intention and focus for this moon phase. Allowing. This radical acceptance says yes to reality in any given moment. So what's needed next, or what's needed, can come next. To be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. I just mentioned those walls, didn't I? What breaks those walls down? We can force them down. We could blow them up. But what kind of destruction does that leave in its wake? I want you to think about yourself, your body, your emotions, your mental health, all of that in this same realm. Everything that we talk about, all these different like metaphors and things that we can relate to our emotions, what they feel like, they really feel like that for a reason, because they are these explosions. They cause destruction and damage when we don't handle ourselves with care. Sometimes we have no choice, but sometimes we need to be gentle with ourselves. We need to rest. We need to heal, and we need to prioritize that for the long term, so we don't burn ourselves out in ways that we can't come back from. Satisfying choices. Sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest: to stop trying to control the whole universe. That's why it feels hard. That's why it feels uncomfortable. Raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. We develop that light in the darkness, okay? We're born with it. It's a part of us. But often it's taken from us. We don't understand what it is within us that's so valuable and bright and important. And there are so many places and people that recognize that innocence, that naive spirit, not by any thing, but just innocence, that purity. Love is so pure when we're small. We trust what we're shown. And sometimes we can be shown distorted perspectives of what we really are. A lot of times we are shown that through our parents and through our caregivers. We're shown their pain. And we think that's us. And that's how it gets passed down again and again and again, and I want you to understand that that's not you. That's not me. But that is where we find this illumination from sitting in that dark, those dark places, and choosing not to let them define us when we get back there. Not to be identified with the shame that there's something wrong with us, because there's not. It's such an achievement to make yourself into this person that you're proud of when very few people showed you the way. Is even more of an achievement, but it is hard to believe when we haven't seen it a lot in our real life in role models. So don't distort the perspective for yourself. Lessons of self-awareness. Every day it becomes easier to receive the highest divine plan and to trust my inner guidance. See your light, know your power, have the courage to walk your truth. I think I've said enough on that already, so we're just gonna move on to advice and resources. Trust. Wow. Trust, truth, trust. Like, this is wild. What's really wild about it is, again, if you're back at the new moon, you see this energy develop. We're talking about how this develops from minute one, when we start this in the month. So it's really cool to do it together and to see what develops for you. What messages do you receive as I receive these as well? If you have your own cards at home, we talk about this all the time, but to do this along with me, it can be really powerful for you. Just to see how our synchronicities match up. So give it a shot. Allow me, divine, to give you my deepest longings, trusting you know exactly how to handle them. Again, trusting that we are a channel of that. So when our choices feel right to us, we know they're the right choices, because we know how to receive the wisdom, that nature's wisdom. We trust. We've been talking all month and learn, and just sitting with this all month. How do I trust my inner satisfaction? What does that feel like? How do I learn what's right for me? How can I step into my choices so I can be so satisfied with what I learn and grow from? Transcend your mind's limitations and allow your soul's light to truly shine. You're going to kind of love that next week, the self-care theme for the upcoming new moon is shine. So you're not going to want to miss that. Don't ask me how I remember that. I just do. I've been feeling this stuff out a lot, and it really, once you're feeling with it, once you're moving with it, I'm telling you, you feel it, and then you come and you check in about the energy and you go, oh, well, duh. Yeah, obviously that's why I feel the way that I am. And you start to feel less alone. You start to feel like everything you're doing has a plan and a purpose that isn't controlled by you, which can be scary until you realize that nothing is controlled by you. The only thing that we do is stagnate ourselves. We drag our feet. Okay? We can sit in the present moment and we can receive what we are meant to receive, or we can, ruminate too long on whatever it doesn't mean it's not relevant. It just means that we probably could have gotten the point way sooner than we allow ourselves to. And that's pretty much the only choice we have. How long does the lesson take? How quickly do we move through it? How quickly do we get to move on and experience life in a different way? Now, action steps for the last quarter moon. Inner power. Give me the courage and the power to do what must be done. Oh, I love it. Live your truth and share the love that is in your soul. We've been accessing this. This is the passion, the inner power, the creative spirit, the self-care that we are here to give ourselves is for this purpose, to access the inner power. This is what we've been talking about if we were to sum it up for the month, okay? This is what we have been talking about. Trusting our inner power, knowing that our inner power is this type of love that we are born with, that other people in this world have tried to take from us, okay? I don't care who you are. Someone in this world has tried to take that light, that power from you. They sensed that they could. Maybe they got the chance, but you know what? They don't get to keep it. You're not broken. They don't own any part of you. You are a sovereign being, and you have to recognize that in order to feel the shifts that you need to feel at this point in your life. It's very, very unique to you as a person. So don't just sit here and listen to me. Bring your intuition into this. Do this for yourself. Okay? Take the messages and combine them together and see how they match up for you. What do you feel? What are you experiencing? How are you moving through this? That's what's important here. It's not about what I have to say. Do this your way. All right, this is our very last message for the last quarter moon, as well as the entire month in this moon cycle. I really appreciate you being here. Again, just go back if you need to find the self-care energy that you need right now. That's what they're for. That's why they're all broken down into chapters, so that you can get exactly the messages that you need to align with when you need them. So this is super great. I love that you're here. I appreciate you watching, sharing, and interacting with me. Intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. I love it. The word choices. Release anything that keeps you from your path of authenticity. Beautiful. Illuminating that our past choices maybe aren't the ones that feel quite right. We know that. We've experienced it. And if we choose to hang on to things that we know aren't right for us, we know it. Our spirit knows it. Something will sit unsettled in you. You will feel as if something is off and not quite satisfying your soul. But trust yourself in this. Don't let anybody else tell you what is going on. This is such an important experience that you have to do this for yourself. This is about you. You're not cutting anybody out. You are going to draw closer to those who understand you at a fundamental level. Or those who are willing to or want to, desire to know you, make those choices every day to know you. Let those type of experiences and humans into your life for now. But do it from the place of your deepest joy, your absolute inner richness. What do you want and what feels satisfying to you? I will write down 10 things I enjoy doing. The things that make me feel good and raise my mood. And then I will pick one or as many as I feel guided to and just go do it. When I'm having fun and enjoying life, I am in a state of allowing for all that I desire. It's that inner trust that we're talking about, that we're leaning towards. This is where we're being playful and we are deciding what we want and what we need based on very subtle feelings in our body of what feels right and what feels wrong. And we could make the wrong choice 1,000 times, but to understand that we are growing from that experience, and that every time we gain a greater self-awareness for what will be build a satisfying life for us ultimately. And that is the only thing that is going to get us from where we are now, however we're feeling, to that next level, is the inner satisfaction, starting from there and then letting that illuminate and open up and attract different things into your life. You will be more confident in the opportunities. You'll be more courageous to express yourself, and you will draw in people that are more authentic and genuine, who get you at a different level, that have a special type of understanding with you. And I think that's what we want. Make space for it now. Don't push it away until you don't have time to enjoy it anymore. Evaluating our priorities is for our own benefit, and delusion does not serve us at all. So, what makes you happy? Start there. If you don't know what makes you happy, it's time to start playing with your experience a little bit more, to find the moments that you can bask in. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week for the new moon and our self-care theme, Shine.